Splodge racing is about team spirit and getting together and having a laugh together. Well, I'm Adam, and they call me Muff, one of the racers in Splodge.
Splodge, you won't forget that name in a hurry.
It's really difficult doing it on your top. It's fun, and everyone chips in and they'll get things done.
So what got 10 with?
So there's 5 members of Splodge, 5 racers, and then we've got Dad the mechanic.
Muff will be faffing around with his exhaust pipe or whatever, and I'll go up to him and say, look Muff, stop doing it, let Daddy do it for you.
And if we can help each other out, or other people in the paddock, yeah, all the better.
It was quite late. I think we were all very, very drunk, and
we were sitting in the pub one night, and we were just throwing names around, and
stupid name, which was
I think it was induced by alcohol, to be honest. It's better than spurt racing, I think.
Spurt racing, yeah, it did. Spurt racing.
There was lots of stupid names come out, and Splodge came out, and we went, oh, right, that's memorable. And off we went, you know, and it's stuck.
It's just a silly name with a silly logo and...
Silly people.
Silly people. Very true.
I mean, it all started with chatting to the lads, really. I moved into the village about 3 years ago. And then we all meet up the pub, the dog, and we started talking about bikes, and then I found out a couple of the guys were racing, got interested, went to a few meetings and thought, this looks like great fun, got to have a go.
Well, that's, yeah, we're going to the British Grand Prix and on the bikes, and there's all the lads there, and well, there's loads of us, and we rang Adam up, and you come to the Grand Prix, Adam, we've got a ticket and everything for you. He says, no, I'm gardening. You puff, so it's half man, half puff.
There was 5 racers, all from the same village. So we thought, well, we've got to have a name for this, because it's just, you know, it's completely unreal, really. I've never heard of 5 people coming from the same village. I mean, there's only 400 houses in the village.
If I've had a few beers and I start laughing or guffawing, then I might sound a little bit like a chicken, but I don't know. I'm not good.
We've got Chickenhead. He's probably our fastest rider. He's up there with the front runners. We've got Blib. He's methodical in terms of preparing his bike, very smooth rider. We've got Crop. He's been racing a while. He used to race go-karts, so he's got a lot of racing experience.
I was went behind the bar and Shrubby was there, and he was standing in a pond trying to tell me that I was... he was going, Chris, you're crap. That's what he was trying to say, but he couldn't say crap, and he kept saying crop. Chris, you're crop. And that's how Crop came about.
We've got Dad, who's our mechanic, real character, great guy.
Which is why we asked Dad.
I mean, on the website, we've got a feature called Ask Dad. You can throw any problem at and he'll sort it out for you.
I got one a little while ago about how to undo one of the bolts on a Mondeo steering pump. Power steering pump.
On a bike website? As a team, we're out there to have fun. I mean, we're out there to enjoy ourselves and have a good weekend away racing. Well, we've had a fantastic season. The team went over to the Manx Grand Prix and 2 of the guys competed in that, which was a fantastic experience, not only for the riders but for everybody that attended. I mean, a real achievement to do that. We've really learned a lot about the Kawasaki ZXR 400, and I think we now understand how to rebuild engines quite quickly, how to get the things working as best as possible, and, you know, suspension setups. We've got a lot to learn for next season, but at least we've got a good grounding now. There's 2 other riders in Splodge. There's Tex.
And the reason I'm called Tex is because of the old Texas Tom adverts for Texas Home Care. It could be far, far worse, let's face it.
And there's Jonesy, Corporal Jones. Bumped into him at Snetterton, and he's been sort of racing with us, and we've been meeting up in the paddock ever since.
I'm riding a Daytona, but the other lads are all on the 400s, Kawasaki's, Yamahas. But I was on my own, trying to do everything on my own, but then met Splodge, and it all fell into place. Everybody there to help you as a team does, you know, and it's very, very good.
We were at Silverstone on the Friday for a test day. Jonesy was the only one who'd been there before, and it was really preparation for the weekend's racing. One of the reasons I went for the ZXR 400 is obviously there's 2 other guys racing those, and we can pull spares. Well, I bought the bike on eBay, and I got a bit of a deal, really. I mean, I paid £900 for the machine. When I saw it on the internet, it looked like pretty much a standard track day bike. It had race fairing on it, and that was it. And I got it home and found the full titanium system on it, so I was quite pleased about that. It's got a standard shock on it. It's really got no trick bits at all. I put a steering damper on it, which is pretty much a requirement on the track these days. And that's it. I'm going to set a race tyres on, and today was the first proper practice session it's had.
We've been running in the 400 class for 3 years now. We started off on a Aprilia 250s, and we had a lot of reliability problems that are associated with tuning two-strokes. We have had a spate of reliability problems recently. Certainly in the Isle of Man, they were really pushed to the limits. They're little engines to be going that long, that flat out, was bringing out the time.
Chickenhead's bike, I mean, things like the airbox, it's got flat side carbs, it's got trick suspension, but he paid a lot of money to get that. But interestingly, he's the one that's crashed the most and the one that's had to repair it the most. What's up? Big end's gone. Oh. Got a spare crank at mine, we think. Chickenhead had a problem, and he pulled in and we found out that the crank had gone.
All right, yeah, I'd rather get that going, to be honest, because I stand a much better chance tomorrow.
Let's do it. He really only had one choice in front of him, which was to rebuild the bottom end of this engine, which is quite a major job to do in a paddock. We're a team.
Yeah, well, I think we're just about to find out how much of a team. Well, if it was going to happen at all, I'd rather it now than tonight or tomorrow morning. But I've got a day to get it fixed, but obviously lose a lot of track time. Which is a bit of a disaster, because there's 3 of them at the moment battling for second place, and there's 2 points in it. I want to go and cry at the moment. He's going to go and grab some bits and a new top end, etc., which should cover all eventualities. And we'll try and, in between sessions, strip as much off his bike and get the engine out before he gets back.
If it came down to the crunch and one of us was nearly, was doing well in the championship, for example, and they needed a bike, most of us that weren't up at the top of the championship would let them ride our bike.
We've all had goes on other people's bikes, and although they're our bikes, I mean, they are the team's bikes, so that they can use them.
Splodge is all about getting people together, and also for people in the paddock and that are interested in racing to have somewhere to share information.
I can't emphasise how lonely it is not having anybody there to chat with and knock about with, and having to put your warmers on yourself, coming back to your pit and having to put your own stand on your bike, and all the rest, every last little thing. If you're doing it on your own, it's a long, lonely road. And I know people who've done it and given up halfway through a season because it is such hard work.
All right, we've got it. The fun starts here.
The reason we've gone for these 400s is for reliability. They're a good solid lump. It might not seem it with the way his results have been going, but last year we had the Aprilia 250s and they're just a lot more fragile. They're stressed to the limit.
My spare engine is in the engine builders, oddly enough, and I rang him up on the way back, and that's not nowhere near ready, so I couldn't have gone and get that. So if it was on my own, then I was probably stuffed, to be honest.
He was in the Formula 1 team as a mechanic, but I don't know how good he was. I've seen pictures of bikes upside down falling off of ramps and stuff that he's been involved in, so... And he's pushing it hard, so you've got to expect some failures. But they're a solid engine, and for the club racer who's getting into it, you can get some placings on a very mildly tuned engine that's going to last a season, easily.
Crop kindly lent Chickenhead his bike to get some more track time at Silverstone because the circuit was bloody awful. What they do, they take out parts of the main circuit and they sort of put cones around various bends and things like that, and it was all over the show. But again, any time you can get out on the track to learn the lines is an advantage.
Because the guys I'm racing with, they've been here before and done well, and they're doing some good times. So, yeah, a bit of a baptism of fire, I think, for them to come here and try and do well and have an engine blow up. So tomorrow should be interesting, I think.
The only GP mechanic in the whole paddock, probably, and he's had the most engine failures.
Chickenhead's blown up lots of engines. I'm sure it's in double figures.
Yeah. So at least we've got a chance tomorrow. So
it's a major job at the end of the day. The engine out on the full bottom end strip.
Yeah.
Good game.
How do you know?
I don't know. As a race HQ, we call it, is my garage. I mean, at various stages of the season, we'd have various different bikes here. But at the moment, this is dangling around without a home, and it needs somewhere to live. As people want to work on their bikes, it's a convenient place to work. and it's also a central location for everybody. It's got a brand new wiring loom on this that's been handcrafted by Dad, and we haven't tested it yet, so that'll be quite a comedy. None of us are experts in any way, shape or form, because racing is an art. You know, you're going to continually learn it. But if you're new to racing, it must be really daunting to go along and not really know what sort of tools you need to take, what the regulations might be. And a number of times people have sent through bits on the website and said, you know, can you give us some advice on this? And also somewhere where people can come and have a chat with us in the evening or something, just on the social side. You know, that to me is wonderful. We get this community of people come together, and I think that's the biggest bit of value we can add. No, it's fine. That's lovely. It was race day at Silverstone. Chickenhead and Dad had been working all night to get the bike sorted, and they were pretty confident that it was going to be good for race 1. Crop kindly lent Tex his 400 4-stroke. It was the first time that Tex had ever ridden a 4-stroke machine on a circuit.
Basically, I bought the bike last weekend. I couldn't get a race entry because I was too late. Tex, who races with us as well, he seized his bike last night, unfortunately. And although I was a reserve entry, there was no guarantee that I would actually get a race. So rather than him lose out and me lose out, then obviously I lent my bike to him.
Trouble was, Tex also borrowed my dog tag.
66?
They looked at the date of birth on it and immediately thought he was taking the piss.
Please.
So he sent him back to change it over for his proper dog tags.
I've got an Aprilia 250, so this is a 4-stroke and mine's a 252-stroke. The main problem is with the 2-stroke, the more power you get out of it, the less reliable it gets in a big way. So if you want to do it reasonably cheaply and reasonably reliably and get up the top of the rankings, then you've got to be riding a 400.
Chickenhead and Blib want to win the championship. You know, it's within their grasp, easily. There's other members of the team, myself, Crop and Tex, who, you know, it'll be really great when the race results come through. It's wonderful. But if I get in the top 10, to me, that's really good. I'm probably not aggressive enough myself. To me, when I first started racing, I was right at the back of the grid. Then I got in this sort of middle pack, and I've been struggling to get from sort of above 15th place. And it's fantastic because you get your own little race within a race, and I think that's all you can ask for. And the guys at the front, I mean, there is some serious competition going on. I mean, it's all friendly stuff, but at the end of the day, you know, it's all about points. During practice, Chickenhead blew the bottom end of his engine again.
Practice again, went out to run the engine in, and it was fine, running to 12,000, it was going lovely. Started to up the pace a bit, and it just went again. So Muff's kindly just offered me his bike for the points race, but you don't want to take a ride off someone else. You know, they're here to race as well, it's not just about me.
This has really sort of blown the championship for him, I think, unless something happens to the other guys, which obviously you don't wish on anybody, but he takes it probably more seriously than anybody else does, but then he's running higher up the order.
Well, Chickenhead decided to not do the first race, that's the trophy race. I did offer him the use of my bike in the second race, but he decided that he wanted to rebuild his engine so he could race his bike in the championship points race. Before we race, everyone helps each other out to get the bikes prepared. But when we're on the track, there's no love lost between a lot of us. We will go hell for leather to beat each other.
The 600 class, I think, is so full. That's why we went to 250s and 400s. We started off 600s, but it's just very difficult to get a ride. But the 400s, I think if you're just starting, then with a standard engine, they don't blow. They're very reliable. And you need to be reliable so you can keep going around. You don't learn much when you're sitting in the garage.
I think a lot of riders go into the 600 class where they could learn the ropes better in the 400 class. I wouldn't say there's any more skill in either one of those. I just think perhaps some riders would be missing an opportunity for not racing in the 400 class first.
You see an awful lot of people start off racing as novices and I'm going to race a 600, I've got a 600 on the road. And there is a lot of carnage in the 600 classes. I mean, we're always out shortly after them, and races are always delayed because of accidents and things.
with the extra power of a 600, you're going to use more tyres, you're going to use more chains, and that sort of thing really adds up. So where I can get away with a set of tyres for practice and a meeting, no problem, and perhaps even 2 meetings if I'm really careful. If I was racing the 600, really I'd want to have at least a set of tyres for practice and a set of tyres for the race themselves. And you're looking at £200 a set or whatever, it really adds up.
They haven't got vast amounts of power, so when you're learning to race, it's kind of an advantage because it means you have to carry corner speed, and you haven't really got the power there to just whack the throttle open and high side yourself.
Tell me when to drop it. All our world champions have come through the 125, 250, 350 as it was then, and 500 before they became champions. They've done the steps. Riders riding 600s today are coming literally from road straight onto 600s at club level. I think probably that's a little bit wrong, and the governing body should be looking to ensure they've had some previous experience on lower capacity machines or lower power machines. The Metrokit Mini GP was conceived as a machine to move riders from mini-moto through to 125 racing, and to teach them to use a clutch, gears, very simple frame, fairly simple engine but tuned to produce race-type power, and from that to give them the ability to move on to 125 GP machines.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant riding the Metrokit. It's easy to chuck it about. It's got brilliant corner speed because of the size of the wheels.
It does actually feel like a proper racing bike, just a miniature version of a proper racing bike.
Through the corners you can carry so much speed, especially someone like my weight. It's just so stable.
The rider has to give technicians information, so if he can come back and say, I don't feel this is right, then he's learning anyway.
If you can learn half of it on one of these, then definitely it'll benefit you on a bigger bike.
Yeah, I started riding mini-motos when I was 9 years old. I went straight into the British Championship, and the second year of me doing it, I won the British Championship.
They were looking for a young rider to ride this little Metrokit, and we just had a chat over the phone, and it seemed like that Christopher fitted the bill.
I've been riding the Metrokit for most of the season, and last week I was at Anglesey riding on the Metrokit, and I had 4 first places against all 250s and 125s and broke the lap record there.
Number 59, Jackson!
It just uses a central spine frame. You can bolt the subframe on extremely easily, and the front part of the frame just bolts together, so if there's any damage to the frame, it's extremely easy to replace and cheap to replace. I think the whole thing, spares, everything included for the year, that's buying the bike and running it for the year, would be £4,000.
You can see the mini-moto racing happening in other countries like Spain and Italy and Japan, and these were bringing young riders into the sport at a very early age and getting to Grand Prix racing very early. Ross is multi-time world champion and he's only 24 years old, you know. I was only just going to Grand Prix when I was 24 years old. He'd done his major learning at such an early age that everybody knew that he was going to be good and throwing him straight into the World Championships. Whereas with me starting later, obviously I got an entry into Grand Prix a bit later then, and so yeah, definitely it'd be beneficial if we could have started earlier.
After a lad's been through 50 and 70 classes on the Metrokit, his move to a 125 should be considerably easier, and I can foresee him just going out and do 30, 40 laps of practice, and he should be well race prepared and able to go out and compete successfully from then on.
I think it could be a good class if you got a grid full of them bikes out there. Obviously they'd all be equally matched and just ideal bikes to have fun on.
These machines are currently being raced all over the world. They're obviously ahead of us. We're lagging behind. We need to get there, and next year we will be running a series. If it runs in with the Mini Moto Racing Association, they can qualify in exactly the same way as they would in a national race meeting, and then we'll probably run 10, 15 or even 20 riders. But we will police the bikes fairly carefully to make sure that people don't try to tune them, they're all left standard, so we see the comparison between riders.
So Chickenhead, just before the points race, finished his bike, got it all prepared, fired it up, and it was only running on 3 cylinders. So he quickly jumped onto my bike and used that for the race. I want him to do well in the championship, so I don't mind lending him a bike, but it's, you know, I obviously like to get out there myself. So it's a double-edged sword, really. But it'd be good for Splodge if he gets out there and does well in the championship. We've all talked about doing an endurance event, and that would be brilliant. Endurance can be 6-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour racing. A rider would literally ride around a track for a number of minutes or an hour, and then that would be swapped over for another rider. And you would keep doing that throughout the whole duration of the meeting. That would be a real consolidation of the team, a bit like the Manx, we've all clubbed together. But there's no 400 endurance racing available at the moment.
I had an engine blow, I had a crash at Brands Hatch once for the British Championship. The lads, they literally worked all night, didn't get any sleep at all, just to get this engine built. And they were knackered in the morning. It was worth it. So, but it shows you what a team can do.
I think working as a team in racing is not just good fun, it's also really important, because you need that logistical support, and even just the camaraderie, and the whole experience is enhanced by having everyone together.
I ended up 6th. It's slow, but it wasn't as slow as I was expecting. So, it's a bit frustrating really, because I'm not used to losing like that. I've got a reasonable start, but it's fairly confusing out there as well with the 125s and the 250s out there. Some of them are seriously fast and some of them are seriously slow.
It was the first time on a 4-stroke, and the 250s quite a bit different. I think I was flat last, but that was to be expected, I think.
But yeah, I was fine about it to me. I've put myself in for another race, and I'm going out with in the open class, which will be me and about 16,000cc nutcases.
In the wet?
In the wet, oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I hate him. He's a git.
Stay with us here on Men and Motors as our bike zone continues with Warren Pole leaping on board some great machines in road versus race.